Good morning. How mad am I? It is, as you can see, 4 a.m. Oh my goodness, how stupid am I getting up at this time of day? But anyway, hopefully we're going to take a sneaky peek look at the hotly released Premier League fixtures now. Hopefully, because they were supposed to be released at 9 a.m. Before we jump into that, I want to take a quick look at some odds. Now, odds, to see if these. I took a snapshot of some odds yesterday before the release of the fixtures because I want to see if those odds will change. Because of the released fixtures, because obviously, as certain teams might get different run-ins. For example, Manchester City might get a tough run-in, whereas Tottenham Hotspur might get an easier one. To basically see if those odds have changed, and obviously, fingers crossed, the fixtures are released, and then we can take a sneaky peek look at it. So, first and foremost, I'm just going to jump over to my main screen here, which I'll show you the odds here now. So last night I took the snapshot of these fixtures last night. So Manchester City were 8-13 to go all out and win the Premier League, with Liverpool second favourites 5-2, Tottenham 14-1, Chelsea 20-1, Manchester United 25-1, Arsenal 25-1. So those were the big six, and then hopefully in a minute we'll take a look at the refreshed odds. But first and foremost, let's hop over to the website, where hopefully we will see these hotly released Premier League fixtures. So I have it bookmarked. I'm going to refresh it, and here we go. Wow, somebody mentioned a comment earlier. I think it was Man City against Wigan. Is that right? Is that what somebody said? Wolves, Man City. So I don't know, because I had also have this article, which I found yesterday, is that they were supposedly leaked. So let's take a look at if those ones were true. Tottenham will open up the new season against newly promoted Norwich City. So let's have a look at that. So that is false. So this alleged leak, which said Tottenham will be taking on Norwich City, lunchtime kickoff, is a big fat bust. So that is wrong. So this is going to work out nicely. So the opening day fixtures, here they are, boys and girls. In the opening game of the new Premier League season, Liverpool will be taking on Norwich. I'm not going to do my predictions right here, right now. We're going to be doing that on a separate video, obviously closer towards the start of the season. So also kicking us off in the brand new season, West Ham will take on Manchester City, the champions, and that is over in the London Stadium. Bournemouth will be taking on Sheffield United in the opening game. Burnley, them six-fingered freakazoids, Burnley will be taking on Southampton over at Turd Moor. Boo. Crystal Palace obviously entertaining Everton at Selhurst Park. Leicester City up against Wolves. Obviously Wolves are going to be a big favourite. Obviously fresh. They look good. Decent last season. Watford up against Brighton. That game's at Vicarage Road. Got a bit of a soft spot for Watford. Spurs at their brand spanky new stadium will be taking on Aston Villa. And those games all taking place on Saturday. Looks like this one is like a later kickoff. And again, these time zones here is USA time, which is where I am at the moment. So, yeah, early door kickoff here. Into Sunday, Newcastle. Will they be taken over by their bazillionaires? Who knows? They'll be taking on Arsenal. That's a bit of a heavyweight clash. In fact, look at this game. The very first game of the season for Manchester United is up against Chelsea. That's an exciting bad boy right there. In a minute, we're going to take a look at the team-by-team breakdown, possibly look at the big boys, see when the other big games are. But this is opening day weekend, is not too shabby indeed. Two big bad boys. Newcastle, who could be under a new ownership, oil tycoon, rumoured to get in there. Into the second games of the season, Arsenal will take on Burnley down at the Emirates. Villa taking on Bournemouth. Brighton up against West Ham United. That's at the Amex. Obviously, Brighton under new managerial ship. Chelsea taking on Leicester down at Stamford Bridge. Everton against Watford. Man City against Spurs. Oh my goodness, look at that for a second game of the season. That's a first big bad boy heavyweight crunch clash. First place Manchester City up against Spurs, who finished, they finished fourth last time out. Obviously Champions League semi-finalists. They'll be taking on Man City. Norwich, obviously newly promoted, their first home game of the season is up against Newcastle at Carrow Road. Sheffield United do the same, have their first home game up against Crystal Palace. Who got promoted by the playoffs already? Aston Villa. Aston Villa have just folded back into the scene quite seamlessly. Southampton against Liverpool. Wolves against Manchester United. Oh, so there we go. Now I'm going to take a quick look at all the clubs by clubs. Let's go look at the champions first. It ain't Manchester United. What am I doing? So, here we go. So, obviously, they open up the season against West Ham. Spurs next up, 17th of August. When do they take on Liverpool? Let me get rid of this down here. So, when do they take on Liverpool for the first time? So, 9th of November, folks. Mark your calendars. That's when Liverpool are up against Manchester City over November in Anfield. So that's, and then straight after, they take on Chelsea. So this is a really nasty period here for Manchester City if they're going to go all out and defend their title. The Manchester Derby, the first Manchester Derby, will be the 7th of December. And then shortly after, they take on Arsenal. Another little back-to-back cluster here. Kicking off further down. Into Boxing Day, they'll take on Wolves at Molineux. No easy game. To New Year's Day, they take on Everton. What else do we got? Into the new season, into the new year 2020. We come back around. Look at this little cluster. 29th of February, Man City up against Arsenal. 7th of March, it is Manchester United up against Manchester City. So that is another cluster. Look at this. Four game period. Over a 5-game period, Man City take on Arsenal, United. They have them 6-fingered freakazoids, Chelsea, and then they have Liverpool, all in a massive cluster. So let's kick it off further back up and let's select Liverpool, obviously, second place last time out. They open up their season against Norwich. Then they have Southampton. Arsenal's their first big crunch clash on the 24th of August. They take on Newcastle and Chelsea in a bit of a back-to-back sort of spell here. There we go. Look at this derby here, 19th of October. Manchester United against Liverpool. Then Liverpool take on Spurs as well. So these two back-to-back, pretty nasty little period for them. In fact, look at this cluster for Liverpool. United, Spurs, they take on Villa, they take on Manchester City, all over a 4-game clump in the middle of October to the start of November. So pretty busy for them bad boys, and then picking on further into the middle of the season. Boxing Day, they take on Leicester. New Year's Day, they take on Sheffield United, and then have another Spurs-Man United trip after that into the new year. So again, there are clusters. There seems to be clusters of big games for everybody. How about the relegation teams or the newly promoted? Oh, well, but they're either or. You know what I mean? Aston Villa, newly promoted. They open up the season against Spurs, and they take on Bournemouth, Everton. Yes. So how do they end their season? We'll take a look at that. Yeah, but they end their season against West Ham, Arsenal, Everton, and Crystal Palace, and they got Manchester United as well. So, okay, now what I'm going to do here, I've got this tab open here. Now, this was the odds for the Premier League title yesterday. I've not refreshed it since, so we're going to do that in just a second and see if those odds have changed. Obviously, if we open up my graphic here, you can tell that these... Hang on a minute. Maybe it's already changed. So these odds were taken yesterday. Can you see the difference? There is a difference. There already is a difference in the odds. Yesterday, Tottenham were 14-1 to win the title. They're now 12-1. Yesterday, excuse me. Yesterday, Liverpool were 15-2 to go all out and win the stinking thing. 5-2. They are now 2-1. So those odds have shortened. So it looks like Liverpool might have an easier run in than expected. As for Manchester City, they're still out there. As for the bottom end of the cluster, like here, 2001, Norwich City. So the odds have lengthened. The odds have lengthened. Hang on a minute. Let me just refresh this just to make it sure that this is 100%. Oh goodness, that's gone all weird on me. Nope, it's right. It's right. It's live TV, folks. Live TV. So yeah, it's true. It's all true here, boys. So Sheffield United's odds have lengthened. They've doubled. Norwich have doubled. Chelsea were 15-1 there now. Sorry, they were 20-1. They were 15-1 now. So the odds have shortened on them. Newcastle United, where are they? They are 400-1. They were 150 to 1 yesterday, just yesterday, to go all out and win the stinking league. So it just goes to show that the depending on how your fixture lists piles up, could change things regarding your odds. So as for do we have a relegation things in here? I don't think so. So yes, the grand old leak that was supposedly leaked yesterday seems to be a bit of a bust. So don't believe everything that you read. So just look, Burnley. Let's just go up and have another double check on that bad boy. just a quadruple check. So Liverpool against Norwich, and then in the supposed leak, it was Liverpool against Burnley on BT Sport. So that, my friends, is just about that. So that is a quick, very quick look at the brand new hotly released fixture list. If you want to check that out yourself, there is obviously just head over to the Premier League site or go to your news outlet. We're going to try and do this again next weekend, or next week, should I say, for the release of the Championship fixtures. I'll have a bigger stake to say on this one, but for me, it is very early. I am going to be hitting the sack pretty soon, because I'm going to be going live once again a little bit later on today over on Twitch to do the Copa America Matchday 2, whatever it is, Matchday 1, Part 2. So if you want to stick around, hop over to Twitch a little bit later on. I'll be over there to check that out. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, despite the early morningness, the bags under my eyes. But hopefully we do this again in a little bit more detail later on in the new season as it gets along. Hopefully we'll do... I know, I'm sorry, Nathan. Hopefully we'll catch you a little bit later on over on Twitch to catch the old predictions for Copa America. If you want to check that out, there is a link to the old Twitch channel in the old description down below. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. It is very, very early. I do appreciate everyone who stopped by and said hello. It was very good to see the numbers. Nathan, you missed out as people showed up today. So I do appreciate that. We'll do it all again for the new season. Week by week predictions for each and every one of the Premier League games. But anyway, I'm going to get back to bed because it's still just 10 past 11. It was only going to be a quick look at those fixtures, but there are some tasty early ones in the Premier League. And again, we'll do it next week for the Championship. There'll be a notification on the channel a little bit later on. But I do appreciate you can still chat amongst yourselves, but I'm going to bid out. Hopefully everything's come through, because this was my very first live stream right here on YouTube, and we'll do it all again next week. Till then, thumbs up, subscribe,